Hello students, this is Sujata coming with our channel 10th NCERT SSC Maths with Sujata ji. Let us see. So now say that is a polynomial 3x square plus 5x minus 2 by the method of splitting the middle term. Here middle term is 5x, polynomial is p of x which is equal to 0. That is the now the middle term is 5x. So get the two numbers such that their addition or subtraction should be positive 5, and their product will be that 3 into minus 2, that 3 into minus 2, that means equal to minus 6. That will be equal to minus 6. So that means which are these number? So this number will be 6 1s are 6. 6 1s are 6. That means positive 6 and minus 6. So let us see here, the addition will be 6 minus 1 will be positive 5, and the product will be 6 1s are 6, that is minus 6. So हेच तर आपल्याला पाहिजे, ओके, हेच पाहिजे आपल्याला, हेच नंबर. सो दीज आर द नंबर. सो राइट द फर्स्ट टर्म as it is, third term as it is, but the middle term, in place of middle term we write these number, that is the positive 6x and minus 1x. Okay, now next step, that is common out. First make the group factorize, simplify. Okay, so 3 multiply x into x plus 3 multiply 2 into x, then minus x minus 2. Make the group, first group of these two numbers, okay, and then second group for this third and fourth term. Now here the common, here is 3, here is 3, here is x, here is x. So the common is 3x, and in the bracket जे marking केलेले नाही, see which are not marking, that will be x, then plus sign, and here 2. So write in the first bracket. Then here second group, the common is, no one is common, so we take the one is common. So write minus 1 in the bracket x plus 2. Okay, outside of the bracket there is a minus 1 sign, so you should have changed the sign in the bracket. Okay, it will be positive 2. So now here, as here 0, then we get that 3x. So here 0 upon 3x, so 0 upon 3 at this stage. Okay, but now here we write here that x plus 2, here x plus 2 in the second bracket also. For these two brackets we write only one bracket as x plus 2, and in the second bracket we write 3x minus 1, that are the remaining term, So now here we get as these as a factor. So here we say that the value of 3x square plus 5x minus 2 is 0 when either 3x minus 1 is equal to 0 or x plus 2 is equal to 0. So this bracket is equal to 0 and this bracket is equal to 0. So here we say that here 3x is equal to 1, x is equal to minus 1 upon 3. Okay, and here x is equal to minus 2. So these are the two values. That means these are the zeros. So these are the zeros of our polynomial 3x square plus 5x minus 2, 1 upon 3 and minus 2. Okay, so we consider that these are this is alpha and this will be the beta. Now here as per our formula, regarding on the base of the zeros of the polynomial and the coefficient of the polynomial. That is sum of its zeros, 1 upon 3 plus minus 2. So here calculate here 1 upon 3 plus minus 2, that means minus 2, which is equal to 1 minus 3 to the 6 upon 3, that means 1 minus 6 minus 5 upon 3. Okay, so call it as the first equation, Now next one, that is minus coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square. Now coefficient of x, our polynomial is 3x square plus 5x minus 2. So the coefficient of x is positive 5, positive 5. Here positive 5. So here write 5 and the minus side is outside the bracket. Okay. Now here the coefficient of x square, here see the coefficient of x square is 3. So here write 3. So we get the value minus 5 upon 3. Call it as the second equation. So now from 1 and 2, so now see from 1 and 2 we get the sum of its zeros equal to minus coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square. Okay. So this is the relationship between the zeros of the polynomial and the coefficient of the polynomial. Okay. Now here see sum of its zeros is equal to minus coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square. This is the formula and call it as capital letter A. Okay, call it as capital letter A. Now the next one, the product of its zeros. Products zeros contain 1 upon 3 and minus 2. So multiply it minus 2 upon 3. So call it as third equation. Then next one, constant term upon coefficient of x square. Constant term is minus 2, coefficient of x square is 3. So we get minus 2 upon 3. So see here, see this equation, call it as fourth one. So from third and fourth, we say that these are equal, right hand side are equal. So we say that product of its zeros is equal to constant term upon coefficient of x square. Okay. So now here from 3 and 4 we get this formula and call it as the capital letter B. So from equations A and B are the relationship between zeros and coefficient of a quadratic polynomial. Here directly in shortcut you may write the formula as product of its zeros. Product of zeros means, let us consider the first zero as alpha and the second zero as beta. So their product is alpha beta, which is equal to, now constant term, we consider the constant term c and the coefficient of x square as a. So we get this formula. Okay. So आपल्याला असा फॉर्म्युला मिळतो alpha beta is equal to c upon a. And what about the addition of the or sum of the zeros? That for the sum of the zeros, see here, okay, here also product, sum of the zeros, okay, see here. This is the formula for the sum of the zeros. So in short way, we can write that is the sum of zeros, alpha plus beta. Okay. Our zeros are alpha and beta. So alpha plus beta. Then coefficient of x, which is equal to coefficient of x, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is our standard form of quadratic polynomial. So here see, the coefficient of x is b. So now here minus sign also, so minus b, and the coefficient of x square, that is the b. So this is our short way to write the formula for the sum of the zeros. Alpha plus beta is equal to minus b upon a. Okay, got this point? Okay. Now here, so this way we get the relationship between the product of the zeros, sorry, coefficient of zeros and the zeros of the polynomial. Okay, coefficient of polynomial and zeros of the polynomial. Okay. Let us see the next example. Find the zeros of the quadratic polynomial x square plus 7x plus 10 and verify relationship between the zeros and the coefficient. बघा बरं, quadratic polynomial आहे, this is also quadratic polynomial. आपल्याला zeros find out करायचे आहेत. ओके, आणि त्याचबरोबर आपल्याला काय find out करायचे, that is a relationship between the zeros and the coefficient. ओके, हे आपल्याला at the same time ला आपल्याला करायचं आहे. So first we do the method of the splitting the middle term. So splitting the middle term of the given polynomial. See here, middle term is 7x. Middle term is 7x. So how can we split out this? See here, x square plus 7x plus 10, which is equal to 0. So now here we want the two numbers such that their addition or subtraction should be 7, positive 7, and their multiplication should be 10, positive 10. Which are these numbers? Then such a number are 5 2s are 10. 5 2s are 10. Okay, so here 5 and 2. That means positive 5 and positive 2. Okay, so these are the two numbers. So first term write as it is, third term write as it is, and these two numbers write in the place of the middle term, 5x plus 2x, which is equal to 0. Okay, then make the group of these two terms and make the group of second group for these two terms. So now here x multiply x plus 5 multiply x plus 2 multiply x plus 2 5 that is 2 multiply 5, which is equal to 0. Okay. Now we will see which one terms are common. Here the common are, here x, here x. So the common is x and in the bracket x plus 5. Okay. See here which terms are not markable, then write in bracket. So now here plus, here is 2, here is 2. So the common is 2 and in the bracket x plus 5, which is equal to 0. Now see here, in both the bracket there are the same terms x plus 5. So make the one bracket for the x plus 5 and the second bracket for the remaining term, that is the x plus 2, which is equal to 0. So either x plus 5 is equal to 0 or x plus 2 is equal to 0. So now here x is equal to minus 2 and we say x is equal to minus 5. So this way we get the two zeros, that minus 5 and minus 2. Okay. So minus 5 and minus 2 are the zeros of the given polynomial. Okay. Okay. So now first part is over here. Now the time for the verification. How can you verify these the zeros of the polynomial and the coefficient of the polynomial? So let us see here. For that purpose, sum of the zeros. First write the sum of the zeros, that is minus 2 plus minus 5. That means the minus 7. Call it as first equation. Then the coefficient of x, or we say directly, that is a minus b upon a. Minus b upon a. That means minus 7 upon 1. That means minus 7. So call it as second equation. Now here both these from 1 and 2, we say that the sum of zeros is equal to minus b upon a. Okay. Then call it as capital letter A here. Now the product of zeros, first zero is minus 2, second zero is minus 5. So their product is 10. Call it as third equation. Then constant term upon coefficient of x square is equal to 10 upon 1, which is equal to 10. Now your constant term, that is a c, and the coefficient of x square, that is a. So here we can write here c upon a, which is equal to 10 upon 1, that means 10, and call it as 4. Okay. So now here from c here, from third equation, this one is the third equation, and here the fourth equation, that we get that product of zeros is equal to constant term upon coefficient of x square, or simply we can say the product of the zeros is equal to c upon a. Okay, alpha beta is equal to c upon a, and call it as the b. So equation a and b are the relationship between the zeros and the coefficient of a quadratic polynomial. Okay. So now see the next example, की जेणेकरून तुम्हाला पटकन लवकरात लवकर अगदी डिटेलिंगमध्ये समजेल एक्झाम्पल, ही कन्सेप्ट काय आहे ती क्लिअर होईल. ओके. सो नाउ फाइंड द zeros of the polynomial x square minus 3 and verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficient. Okay. So first we have find out the zeros of the polynomial. This is the first part of this our example. And the second part will be the verification regarding with the relationship between zeros and the coefficient of the given polynomial. But what is our polynomial? The given polynomial is x square minus 3. Okay. So now here we can write that this polynomial is in this form, x minus root 3 in the first bracket and x plus root 3 in the second bracket. Okay. As the expansion or the identity formula, a square minus b square, which is equal to a minus b in the first bracket and a plus b in the second bracket. Then the value of x square minus 3 is 0. When x is equal to minus 3 is equal to 0, then we get x is equal to root 3, and x plus root 3 is equal to 0, then we get x is equal to minus root 3. So now here therefore the zeros of x square minus 3 are root 3 and minus root 3. Okay. We get the zeros of the polynomial. Now our task is find out the sum of the zero. So sum of the zeros is root 3 plus minus root 3. So root 3 minus root 3, 3. So call it as first equation. Now minus coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square, which is equal to minus coefficient of x. So here no term such a that coefficient of x. So the 0, 0 upon 1, that means 0. So call it as second equation. So here we see that from equation first and second, that sum of zeros is equal to minus coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square, that is alpha plus beta is equal to minus b upon a. Okay. And then product of zeros, so root 3 multiply minus root 3, which is equal to minus 3. Call it as third equation, and then the constant term upon coefficient of x square, which is equal to minus 3. Constant term is here minus 3, coefficient of x square is 1, so we get minus 3. So call it as fourth equation. So now see the third equation and the fourth one equation. So we get the values, same values. So we say that product of the zeros is equal to constant term upon coefficient of x square. So call it as b. So we say that from equations A and B are the relationship between the zeros and the coefficient of quadratic polynomial. Okay, so this way we can find out, we can verify out what is the relation between the coefficient of the polynomial and the zeros of the polynomial. Okay, now here see the next example, students. Find the quadratic polynomial, the sum and the product of whose zeros are 3 and 2 respectively. Now there is only first part is given that the zeros of the polynomial are 3 and 2 and we have to only verify. Verification part is here, म्हणजे व्हेरिफिकेशन पार्ट इथे फक्त आपल्याला दिलेला आहे. ओके, सो आपण तो फाइंड आउट करायचा आहे. सो लेट the quadratic polynomial be ax square plus bx plus c and its zero be alpha and beta. ओके, सो आपल्याला काय करायचं आहे, quadratic polynomial फाइंड आउट करायचं आहे. ओके, आता आपल्याला कन्व्हर्स करायचं आहे. ओके, zeros of the polynomial आपल्याला दिलेला आहे आणि from that information we have to form the quadratic polynomial. पहिल्या एक्झाम्पल मध्ये, अगोदरच्या एक्झाम्पल मध्ये काय दिले होते, 3 एक्झाम्पल मध्ये क्वाड्रॅटिक पॉलिनॉमियल दिला होता आणि झिरोज ऑफ द पॉलिनॉमियल आपल्याला फाइंड आउट करायचे होते. आता कन्व्हर्स दिलाय की zeros of the polynomials are given and we have to find out the quadratic polynomial. Okay, so for that we write here, let the quadratic polynomial be ax square plus bx plus c and its zeros are be alpha and beta. So now here alpha plus beta, that is the sum of the zero is here c, sum of the zeros is 3 and the product of the zero is 2. So sum of the zero is -3, that means alpha plus beta is equal to -3 and which is also equal to minus b upon a. And here product of the zeros, that is alpha into beta, which is equal to 2, which is equal to also we say that constant term upon the coefficient of x square, that is c upon a. So now here if a is equal to 1, then b is equal to 3 and c is equal to 2. So here we say that is by comparison, comparatively we can say that here c -3 upon 1 and here minus b upon a. Okay, so if you consider here that a as 1, then minus b is equal to -3, minus b is equal to -3, that means b is equal to 3. Okay, and here also that product, that is 2 is equal to c upon a. 2 means 2 upon 1, so a is equal to 1 and then at that time the value of c is equal to 2. So now here we get the values of a, b, c. So now we can form, that is one quadratic polynomial which fits the given condition is x square plus 3x plus 2. Okay, so that's why here our quadratic polynomial will be, we write here that x square plus 3x, that is in the form of this ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. But here polynomial, we want to polynomial, so here 1x square plus and plus b 3x plus c, that means 2. So x square plus 3x plus 2. Okay, this is our final quadratic polynomial. Okay, so here अशा पद्धतीने आपण असे quadratic polynomial आपण find out करू शकतो. Students, thanks for watching our videos of 10th NCERT Maths. Keep watching our videos continuously. We're sure that you will get 100% success in Maths. So, like and subscribe our videos